part of what you live when you're in an autocratic regime. It's the weaponization of the financial system. And the weaponization, puts you in a situation when you can't move resources. So we had the resources, we had the need, the medical doctors, the nurses, but we didn't have a way of doing it. So the team that was working, they came up with this idea of doing it through a stable coin. So we did it through Circle, and we had the funds. The funds were moved from one account to another. We got the first ever license given by OFAC to cryptocurrency, the first ever. This is at the end of 2020, and we were able to onboard 70,000, almost 70,000 medical doctors and nurses with their names, with their certification of nurses and doctors, and with the clearance that they were not sanctioned. And it was magic. It was magic for the medical doctors and nurses. They were earning $3. And all of a sudden, they were getting $100 every month. And they couldn't believe it. They were getting it in their phone. And then they were off-ramping it to Bolívares or to dollars or to their account. It was the most, I think, impactful moment of everything that we've done in resistance, because we were actually helping on a daily basis thousands of people. So that's how I got involved in this technology. Yeah.
How are they off-ramping it? What is do you have any, what were the off-ramp mechanisms?
So the off-ramp mechanism that we were using at the time was, there was a wallet that allowed the people to get the funds in their wallet and then transfer to a bank account in Venezuela. And the way that wallet worked was that they were P2P transfers within the system. So they would, if you wanted to transfer $50, you would say, I want to transfer $50. Somebody in that network who was an exchanger within the network, they would get the funds, and then from their personal account, they would transfer to a personal account. So there was no B2P. It was a P2P that worked very well at the time.
And this is a through line with a lot of the HRF activists. It's almost like a Hawala system for like Bitcoin. Like that's like a trusted network that has access to, intermediate, but also a risky, endeavor for them as well.
But I want to try to color that a little bit. No, I think you're right, and I'm glad that
Didn't
you
mean to interrupt there.
No,
that's just my personal interest.
It's a great question, but also from what I understand of my family sending and myself sending money back to Venezuela, that sort of P2P system existed even before stablecoins. Right. So can you talk a little bit about how remittances were even made? Because it was it was kind of like an informal trust system that existed before Bitcoin and stablecoins really became more of a thing that people used.
So migration is a business for autocrats, right? And it's a numbers business. You have 30 million people. If you take 10 million people out of your country, you have 10 million people less to feed. But you also have 10 million people that will be outside the country, earning in hard currency, sending remittances inside. So Venezuela had no remittances at the time, very, very, very low level. Venezuela was never a migration
You were
country.
also cut off from the SWIFT system, so it wasn't just like money could be put in through a bank account. And that was even before things got very big. That was when I was there in 2010. It wasn't like I was able to just take cash out of an ATM. That wasn't a thing. Yeah. When I would go down there, I'd have to bring as much cash as I needed, trade that for bolívares as necessary. It hadn't really become dollarized yet, but I felt that impact of being cut off. There was no digital way to transfer money except for informal methods of doing so.
But when and those informal methods, I mean, when it's about, people's money, people find a way, right? So people started using different ways of sending the remittances. There were some formal services, but then also cell. So, it became a way to pay was, hey, give me your cell. And people would charge 3 to 5% per cell transaction. So if you had an account here in the US, you would lend your account for people to do P2P. And that happened until the stop happened. And these systems are never stable in the long run, because you're either going to be caught from one side or the other. So it was caught, here they started to close the bank accounts of many Venezuelans. So it was closed from the sending end. Then people find different ways. Now, Binance is big in Venezuela. What's really big in Venezuela in terms of the day-to-day is Tether, like it is in many countries. Bitcoin is growing, of course, and we can talk about that and what we're doing about it. But it's been growing year by year, the need for people. So I saw an opinion poll a couple months ago, and around 5% of the people say that they transact on a regular basis using some sort of a stable coin.